market update video. And if you guys are looking for the commodities video, I just uploaded that one for natural gas, gold, silver, and the US dollar. You can take a look at that video and up the link below as well. And let's take a look at the stock market. So today we'll be looking at QQQ, Sp500, Tesla, Nvidia, Apple, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, and Meta. And we have a lot to talk about because there's CPI data coming in tomorrow morning, 5:30 a.m. PST. So it'll be 8:30 EST. And the forecast is coming in a little bit hotter at 0.6. So the market wants to see this number being not as hot. Otherwise, this would be a headwind for the tech stocks because the higher the CPI, the more chances of us potentially having one more rate hike. Let me take a look at this real quick. Open the rate hike for you guys. As of now, the rate hike is still pricing in a rate hold for the rest of the year. You can see right now, September 20th is a hold because this is our current rate. And if we get another hike, this is the next level of rates. So you can see the probability of that happening is 7%. So we're definitely not going to get a rate hike regardless of what the CPI comes in on the 20th. But on the November and December, if this thing just shifts at about an 8%, then we'll get a rate hike. You can see if, this minus is 8, this plus 8, then this will be 48, and this will be 48 as well. So let's just say 9% shift, right? If this minus is 9, this plus 9, then we'll get another rate hike. So we saw this actually being around 50% just a couple of weeks ago. And because the JOLTS data came in softer, that this ended up becoming a hold for the rest of the year. But we'll see if the CPI data comes in. If it comes in really hot, this may shift. So we'll update you guys tomorrow after the CPI data comes in. We'll see how the probability shifts, because if this shifts into a hike, that's a headwind for the tech stocks. Then obviously QQQ and then the NASDAQ is going to drop. And if they drop, the SPY is going to drop as well. So the market overall is going to be red if that happens. But if we get something in that's aligned with forecasts, because market already know what the forecast is, so it's likely already priced in. And let's say we get something like pretty much in line, then I would say the market wouldn't, it wouldn't be too big of a deal. Might just move around at like 0.5% within that range during pre-market. And then we'll see what happens when market opens. But if we get something hotter than this, where it's already hotter than previously, we get something like 3.8, market's probably going to drop at least over 1%. And we'll see how this 0.6 comes in or not. Ideally, for bulls, we want to see this come in below the 0.5 or 3.5. So we'll see. And PPI will be coming in the day after. PPI usually comes in line with CPI. So if CPI data comes in with forecast, this will likely come in within forecast as well. So tomorrow is very key. And let's take a look at the market. So before we take a look at the stock market, talk a little bit about my plays. So on Friday, I made a video on talking about adding Disney, just for a long-term swing trade. Nothing too crazy, something that you add and not look at. So I added an initial position down here on Friday at $81. And we are up close to 4%. So my first target is this falling wedge resistance close to 7 to 8% level. You can see support, resistance. And if we come back up here again and reject from that, then I may take my initial profits. So we'll see about that. This is a very chill trade, nothing too volatile. And just hold and take your profits along the way. So, but yeah. Also, I talked about PayPal. We're potentially confirming a daily uptrend very soon. And you can see, because of this move, the size of this move, confirming daily uptrend right there. Hold back and just shy of breaking that pivot. Right, the pivot is 60.08, and that day we got to 60.31. So that pivot held. So that means bulls are definitely playing defense here. And we may likely get a continuation of the daily uptrend. This is also in a falling wedge as well. You can see supports along the way here, and this is the resistance. Rejected here 3 times, 4 or 5 times. So a decent amount of room for profits, more than Disney for sure, but PayPal is a little bit more of a volatile name. So you add less shares and let it run more percent. You have a level to play off of now, which is this pivot right there, 60.31. If it breaks below that level, we're probably going to come down to here again and retest that level. Yeah, it's a very clear level to play off of. You're risking about, let's see, 4%, slightly below it. You don't want to set your stop loss on it, so slightly below it. So 4.5%, and your reward is roughly 14% ish if you add it today versus yesterday. Yesterday we would have close to 16. So your risk reward is roughly 1 to 4. So 4 to 1. And so yeah, that's a decent risk reward trade for me. And yeah, see, you guys can play if you guys like to. And the cannabis sector, so MSOS, is the cannabis ETF. You can see it's been running 90% since last Wednesday. So it's been crazy. So I've been day trading this thing and its other peers for the past week. And today I made a entry long on CGC, which is another cannabis name. So I took a long in the morning at not right when it opened. So I was looking at this, what's it called, the wedge, during the pre-market. You can see there's resistance, support along the way. And I didn't get in right away. I added 135,000 shares, close to, what do you call it, $210,000. I got in at 1.64. So I was looking at this in the morning at 5 minutes candle, right here. So the first candle, and I saw that dip below here, and we pretty much double bottom at this support right here. And I was a bit hesitant to get in because we broke below this wedge support. But when we bounced back within it, and then the next candle retested that level, and we bounced off of that, and I saw all of its other peers, and like ACB and all the other cannabis stocks starts running. I got in. I did a market order here at 1.46, and then I held this. Initially, I was going to take profit over here at this wedge looking resistance. But the reason I didn't take that is because it barely rejected. Like we stalled there for a couple minutes. I remember, go to the 2 minutes. So you can see even on the 2 minute, we didn't even stall there. Actually, we did stall there. Let me give me a second. 2 minutes hard to see. But the idea was when it stalled there for 2 minutes, it didn't barely retraced. So there was no sign for me to take my profits. Obviously, if we broke below the candle of the prior candle, I would have taken profits. But it just stalled there, pulled back like 0.5%, and it continued. So I held my position all the way close to this 1.9. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to take profit up here. Right when we broke above this, then pretty much the next minute, this happened. And by the time I took profit, I got out at 1.7 around this candle, right when we broke below the prior candle. That just means consolidation is on its way. You know how I talk about when the next candle breaks below the prior candle, that means consolidation is on its way. So I got out there. And because I have so many shares, 135,000 shares, it was hard to get out. So when I sold it, it sold around 1.7. So I got a 24-cent gain on 135,000 shares, so in 19 minutes from entry from here, and sold it about here. this level. So yeah, that was roughly a $32,000 gain for me. This not the most games that I ever made, but it's definitely the most games I've made within 19 minutes. So my entire career. So that was a pretty cool thing to happen in terms of milestones. Yeah, and we'll see if tomorrow we get more hypes or not. But so far, it's not looking like much going on anymore. So we'll see. But because you guys can see on the daily charts, this thing already ran 382% since last Wednesday, right? So you guys got to be very careful trading these kind of things. You just got to be like a ninja, get in, get out, take your profits, don't look back. Even if it keeps running, right? It's okay. You take in your profits. That's all that matters because nobody's going to nail the bottom or the top. And that's how trading works. All right, that's enough of today's episode of Plays. It's more fun to do these, but it just takes a lot of time for me to go through these all the time. But let's go back to the analysis on the overall markets. If you guys like Plays more, let me know. Comments below, as well as I'll be to make more members only videos on Sunday. If there's more people that joins, you guys can join on the button below. It's just $9.99, and you guys get to pick your own stocks. So if you guys pick like potential Netflix or whatever stocks you guys are looking for, then I'll do an analysis on those 5. Give you guys more levels to play off of as well. Gives more time then. But let's get back to QQ. All right, so QQQ made a consolidation again. So we were expecting equilibrium might be forming because of the moves, big move down, big move up, and potentially chop around into October or November because September is a weaker season, as well as we have CPI tomorrow. So a lot of traders may be de-risking today. And Apple event didn't even really help today. So we'll see how QQ trades. Currently still in the daily uptrend, so we don't want to forget about that. If QQQ breaks below this Thursday's low at 369.15, then that's a daily downtrend confirmed. So now we don't have that yet. So we don't want to be predicting too much that's going to happen because I want to be guessing. But because the most likely scenario that QQ is still in a daily uptrend at the moment is that we will potentially retest this pivot high. So, but everything depends on CPI tomorrow. If it comes in flat, then it probably won't affect us that much. You can also see a tiny range here on the hourly. Pretty clear. Draw it for you guys. Resistance. Support. So it's a big move down, big move up, big move down. Now it's in a tightening range. So CPI definitely will determine if we break out of this range tomorrow. Yep. Let's say we get a bounce in overnight. CPI data comes in bad, hotter than usual. Bearish reaction will break out of this wedge, equilibrium, bearish. It's good. Maybe it'll come up to test this resistance line again. So we will see about that. And hourly is back now into a downtrend. So hourly was our guide back here in an uptrend. Hit resistance. Now we are in hourly downtrend confirmed right here. Yeah, we'll see if the bears follow through more tomorrow on the bigger picture because now they have the hourly in their favor. But daily is still in bulls' favor at the moment. Yeah, clear support and resistance line. Very clear. Wedge here. All right, let's take a look at SPY. SPY similar to QQQ, but a little bit stronger because today most of the stock that was dropping was tech. And same thing, if SPY breaks this low right here at 442.75, that's going to be confirmed daily downtrend. And the most likely scenario would be us testing this mirror looking support line if that happens. As you can see, this is the longer trend line. bounce for SPY. So if we come down here, then very likely we're going to form that equilibrium as well into later this year. So that's the bigger picture we're looking at. In terms of the hourly, very clear double top resistance and a tightening range as well. So you couldn't get over yesterday's high when we tested it today. So very similar. So see if we tighten up into CPI data tomorrow. And hourly trend, let's take a look. Very choppy. Hit a new high here. So yeah, it's not an hourly downtrend, but this is a big enough drop now that potentially the next drop can confirm it. But yeah, this 445 level is going to act as support if we do come down to it. If we get a bearish reaction to CPI, we open here. Let's see if we bounce or not. But we are definitely closer to support, breaking support here than resistance. Bears can break this level. We have a daily downtrend confirmed. Bulls need to get all the way up here. So I think about this game between now. All right, let's take a look at Tesla. So Tesla today outperforming in the morning, but ended up getting dragged down by QQQ into the afternoon because we broke this 275 resistance right in the morning. Let's zoom in. Let's take a look how it looked like. So right here, you can see we broke out and we got some volume coming in, bull volume after breaking out 275. But then QQQ around this time started to tank. So he tanked. This should have been the part where they confirmed a 15-minute uptrend, but then QQQ continued to drop. So then it failed. So, and this ended up becoming a bull break, lacking follow through because QQQ's fault. But that's what happens when you got to look at the market. That's why we always look at the NASDAQ and QQQ at the same time when we're trading all these mega cap tech stocks as well, because they always correlate with each other. But if we zoom back out, there's not a lot of any red flags on the daily chart yet. We broke out of this tiny range bull from the hourly uptrend, but now we are back to hourly neutral trend. As of now, no signs of red flags yet. We'll see if the bears can confirm a hourly downtrend here because this is already a big enough drop where bears have room now to confirm hourly downtrends. If the bears can't do that, even confirm hourly downtrends, then bulls have nothing to worry about at the moment. And you can see the daily chart is still intact. Daily uptrend has been continuing and is still on daily uptrend. So we'll see if bears can shape up that hourly downtrend or not. If not, then no signs of red flags. We may just be going sideways a little bit until QQQ gives up some strength in the overall market. So yeah, we'll see if CPI comes in hot or not and see which way is going to drag QQQ. All right, Nvidia. Take a look here. Nvidia. This is still the weakest. Decent today. Semis were outperforming QQQ today in the morning, but it ended up being similar, close to slightly outperforming into the afternoon once QQQ hit the new low of the day again. But this is still giving me a bear flag look from the top of the move. Let's see how much drop we have been. 11%. So we broke above our high there. That's the pivot being set, and went below it. So now it's a daily downtrend confirming. And I talked about this where once the daily downtrend confirms, the most likely scenario for Nvidia is probably going to tighten up into later this year. Excuse me, because Nvidia has been running pretty darn hard, if you ask me. 250%. So it going a little bit sideways is no big deal. Perfectly makes sense, especially at the top of his range, right? Just like any kind of move. Just like over here. From here to here, we're around 100%. And then we just went sideways. for the next move up, because market stocks don't go straight up. Especially the bigger the name they are, they need time to consolidate sideways a little bit. You can argue that this is already a consolidation sideways, right? Huge move up here from the gap. And now we're just consolidating through time to come back to this maroon looking support line. You can see bounce off, bounce, bounce. Bounce, 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 bounce over here. So we may all day sideways to this maroon looking line and bounce, go sideways. That would take us into October. So we'll see about if this tiny range ends up forming up or not. But daily downtrend is now confirmed. So now it's going to be burdened back to the bulls to see bulls are going to play some defense in these levels down here, especially this 450 zone and this 437 zone right there, because it was resistant here. I want to see ACA support come down to it. Very clear weekly tiny range. Weekly is still in an uptrend, so yeah, weekly uptrend is still intact. Next step for bears is to have a big enough weekly drop that they may potentially ship with a weekly downtrend, but that would take us all the way to like mid October. So as of now, no signs of that yet. If it starts shaping up, I will let you guys know. All right, Apple. So Apple had its Apple event today, and yeah, down 1.7%. So we are looking at now Apple. See if we can hold its support here. Although it is only a 2 touch. See why is my line like that? More like that. One here, one here, one here. So if we come down to test here, I want to see it bounce. Of course, it's bulls, you want to see it bounce. And honestly, Apple is the one that looks more like a tiny range to me. The most clear one. See, big enough drop, big enough bounce, huge drop. Now we'll see if we end up tightening into later this year. This one would take us all the way to November. It doesn't have to get to the end of the pattern, obviously, but it's just visual guide for us to know that this is going to be the range that Apple would most likely be trading in the next months. Of course, let's say we get a huge jump on CPI and just break through it. Anything can happen, but so we'll see how it goes. But as for now, let's zoom into the hourly chart to give us more understanding for the hourly guide. So it was an hourly uptrend here. And then once this morning came around, it became an hourly neutral trend. And now it formed the pivot there. Now it's an hourly downtrend. So it's very likely we'll come down to test that low again, because now we're in an hourly downtrend. 173.55. This would be close to 173.9. Just a slightly bit higher, tad bit higher. That's the next level of support that I'll be looking at if 175 does end up breaking this level here. And if we do bounce at 173.8, then potentially shape of that equilibrium and go from there. Take a look closer to this high at the moment. So give me a similar look to this one back here. See the equilibrium just chopping in and out. Big range is same thing over here. So yeah, that may be what we'll be shaping up into end of the year. Makes sense. So we'll be keeping watch on that. See how it ends up being. Amazon lead bull still drop 1.3% because QQQ is red today. No signs of red flag from Amazon. Daily uptrend confirmed yesterday, and bulls are holding the top of his range. Since I remember talking about that, we'll likely get a slight pullback because this is a double top right here. Double top resistance and the cupping handle. little bit pullback. Ideally, not too much. We don't want to pull back all the way down here. Then it's not really a cup and handle anymore. And it pulls back slightly, and then retest this double top resistance. And if it does, it'll break out. That. So daily uptrend intact, hourly uptrend intact, everything is intact. So it looks good. MSFT bulls are in good shape. Google is just forming that chopped range that I talk about all the time, where it goes up to a new level and just goes completely sideways and chops around before it decides which way it wants to go. So if we just chop around here, then Google is probably going to be waiting to see which way QQQ ends up breaking and decide if it wants to break above it again to the next level or go back below it. Usually what happens, chops around and you see QQQ or NASDAQ ends up breaking out and Google does it at the same time as well with it to its new zone. Now, no signs of red flag because it's still in a daily uptrend. So, still intact. Hourly is back to neutral. Makes sense because when you're chopping in a zone, it's very easy to go back to neutral, to an uptrend, to neutral. Chopping within the prior pivots. And neutral, we don't see bears are serious about confirming an hourly downtrend or not. To test this 133 low again or not tomorrow. But as of now, Google bulls are happy. I mean, not like ecstatic, but you guys are trading within top of the pretty much T2 high range. So nothing really negative about it. And the daily trend is still intact. Of course, if we break this 133 level right here, this low, then daily downtrend is confirmed. Then that would start to be a little bit of a red flag. We'll see if it happens or not. But as of now, no signs of that yet. Okay, Microsoft giving back a lot of its gains. Daily uptrend confirmed right there on Tuesday. And just starting to slow down, grind above it, came below it. Still intact. So you can see the daily uptrend pivot is right there at 329.03 on this candle right here. So as long as the bulls hold above the teal looking line, 12 EMA, this exponential moving average, and hold above this pivot, 29.03, then it's good. Daily uptrend still intact, as well as the momentum, it will still be there. You can see this trend upwards. That would be our guide. It can hold 12 EMA at the same time because you can see 12 EMA was acting as resistance, teal looking line. So when we come up to it, it wants to act as support. So I want to see it not break. Chart, big enough drop now. The bears can potentially shape up an hourly downtrend. Now it's in a neutral trend for the hourly, but daily still on an uptrend. So it's good. But obviously we didn't want to see it pull back that much, but it's still in a daily uptrend. All right, let's take a look at Meta. Okay, so another rejection off the megaphone. I don't know how many times it's gonna reject it from it, but it should be. It should probably get negated soon because it's getting really wide. Let's see how big the range this would be. 5% for mega. Still, so you can see this megaphone resistance, rejection, 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 rejection again. This looking thing, yeah. So, and we end up closing 301. Okay, so that's okay. We didn't close below 300. We're still at the higher side of the range overall, compared from 291 to 308. Yeah, so we still have a chance to head back higher, but it's just very messy here. If you're playing meta, you just go play something else because it's not really a lot to do here when it just chops around like that. Daily is in an uptrend. It chops within here. Still in an uptrend, but have to play this one for sure. You like just whipped around. Yeah. But the megaphone resistance and support is very clear. But just even though it's very clear, it's still really hard to play within it because there's just not a lot of percentages to play. If you're getting chopped around that much in this zone, right? Unless you're just scalp trading. Getting to help and look for something else. But yeah. I mean, if you play short, you would have been pretty good too. Every time it hits the megaphone resistance, you short, you take profit. You short, you take profit. Short, take profit. Right? Short, take profit. You'd have been banking. Short, take profit. Short, take profit. That would have been pretty good. But started looking at the megaphone close to over here when it hit 3 times. So it would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. About 5 trades. Yeah, if we were all that good, nailing tops and bottoms, we would all be millionaires. But we'd be like 9 figures or something or more. But yeah, so let's take a look. Hourly trend is now in a downtrend. Sorry, not hourly. Let's go back to the hourly. Hourly is picking up drop where it potentially can shape up a hourly downtrend. If we do, then I'm looking down to this 293 zone, bottom of this support zone. If the hourly downtrend does shape up, if the hourly downtrend does not shape up, we're probably coming back up to this megaphone resistance again. And this time, if we do come back up there, it's going to coincide with this 310 resistance. So we're probably going to get rejected again from 310 because of this. You can see this level right here, all this resistance. So we'll see. All right, that's all I got for you guys. And yeah, feel free to subscribe, like, and share if you guys learned anything today. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. And if you guys like to join, support the channel, feel free to click the join button below or go to the Patreon page. And yeah, have a great rest of you guys' day. Feel free to comment below if you guys got any questions, and I will see you guys tomorrow.